What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with my MLB Week 16 power rankings. Before I get into it, hit that subscribe button down below. We'll be doing lots of football videos coming up soon, so make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. 30 through 26, you get your usual suspects here. Bottom five teams in the league find themselves at the bottom five of the power rankings. White Sox, there's no hope there except trading. Maybe in the next few years, they'll get some good guys through trades. Same through the A's, Angels, Marlins, and Rockies. All these teams are looking like they're going to trade their best guys and veterans off to those teams that are looking to compete. 25 through 21. Now, teams that you didn't expect to be here, I think at this point in the season, are the Blue Jays and the Cubs. Cubs have really fallen. They are moving up a little bit here, but they have really fallen after, that Baltimore series last week. 3-0. I thought maybe they'd start to get things on track, kind of just flat line against the Cardinals, and then lost a series at home against Arizona. It's a big 6 games for them this week, and let's say they go 5-1. They're 53 and 54. They might be buying at the deadline, but if they go 1-5, they're probably going to be selling here at the deadline. So it's a big week, not only just for the Cubs, but for the Blue Jays and the Reds as well. I think the Reds could be moving India. That's an interesting piece that could be dealt. And then the Blue Jays, who knows what they're going to do? They're probably not going to compete this year for a playoff spot after, last week's awful week. And don't be surprised if they do deal maybe a starter or two, or possibly a big name to be moved there. Same for the Giants and the Nationals. I think the Nationals have more leeway here. They're a bit of a younger ball club, but they're starting to play some decent baseball. It's not consistent enough where they'll be competing for a playoff spot, but I think they like where they are right now. 20 through 16, and I think these are the teams that are the biggest coin flip heading into the deadline. We'll probably know more next week at this time, just because, the deadline will be 2 days away on the 29th rather than the 22nd like today. But a team to look out for, I think, are those Tigers. My Tigers, they're interesting piece. They got Scooble, that is probably the best name possibly available at the deadline, Flaherty as well, but they do not have any pitching health right now. And you can see there, they've won their last 3 series against some good ball clubs, Cleveland and the Dodgers. And it's a big week as well for the Tigers as they have 7 games against their divisional opponents. Obviously, both those teams are in front of them, and they're only 2 games behind 500. So if they go 5-2 this week, I think, that Tigers team might be buying at this point next week. And the Rangers, it's a big week for them as well. You have two teams you should beat. Let's say they go 5-2, they're in that same boat. Are they going to be buying, selling, or holding? I think regardless of what the Rays do here, they're gonna be selling. I just think they don't really have the pieces to compete, and I wouldn't be shocked if they sell. Same with the Pirates and the Padres. Padres have some interesting pieces. I think Profar could be dealt, just because he is a bit older and on a 1-year deal, and maybe get a solid return for him. The Pirates, they got some veteran guys as well that could be dealt. Now, 15 through 11, still same teams in the same boat. Mets, Mariners, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, especially. Royals, kinda, but I think they're going to probably be buyers. Where at 12 through 15, they're all going to be in the middle. Mariners really struggling here in the last few games, 2-5, and they should have beat the Angels at least 2 more times. Astros, rough series. The Cardinals, they're starting to play a little bit better. Same with the Diamondbacks, they're starting to figure it out. Once Gallen got back, they're starting to figure it out. And all these teams have been playing all right, but once again, it's a big week for all these teams, and the Royals especially. 6 games at home, and I think they should go at least 4-2, possibly even better, just because they got to keep their footing in the AL wild card race now, and even keep up with the Guardians. Mariners as well. They're tied right now with the Astros for the AL West. As a month ago, I think it was like 10 games. So the Mariners really need to figure it out because the Astros are starting to play a lot better. 10 through 6. Now, these are the interesting teams here. I think the Red Sox are a team to watch out for. I think they could be some buyers looking for a little bit of everything, honestly, at this point. They were a team at the beginning of June that was floating around 500. Now they're playing some really good baseball and figuring out how to win series. Obviously, not against the Dodgers, struggled in that series, but I think they can rebound this week. The Twins, Astros, Brewers, and the Braves are starting to get their footing, and I think really be above that 10 games above 500 mark, and where we're going to kind of see them be for the rest of the year. So don't be surprised if they're in the wild card race up until the last week of the season when they clinch. But they will be buying at the deadline as well. And the Braves, who knows? Maybe they're going to be making a big move, getting a huge starting pitcher that's available at the deadline, just because I think they're one pitcher away from being elite. They have had some injuries to their rotation throughout the year. So if the Braves can really get a nice veteran arm there that can be stable, I think the Braves can make another run at it. Then 5 through 1. Obviously the Phillies at 1. Yankees with a great week go back to 2. Orioles fall down to 3. Dodgers and Guardians round it out. And the Guardians, I think this team's really starting to fall off. I wouldn't be surprised if they only end up with 90, 95, 9, I'd say 90 wins, just because this team at the beginning of the year had an easier schedule. And I know you still got to win those games, but that you can start to see them fall off. They have no starting pitching. It's rough. Actually, two of the starters they're facing this week against the Tigers, Carrasco and Curry, both have ERAs over 5. And with a team that is 20 wins over 500, you can't have starters that are 5 ERA and expect to go out and win those games. I know your hitting is good, but the Guardians definitely are going to have to make a move to get some starting pitching in there if they want to keep their lead in the AL Central. Dodgers, they're starting to figure it out. Dodgers ho hum come playoff time. They're just going to be dialed in, and they like to make moves at the deadline. So don't be shocked if they make one. I think the Orioles are a team that's looking for starting pitching as well. They will have the most available to trade, being because their minor league system is very good. Kobe Mayo's a name that's already being thrown around. Kierstad as well. Lots of guys in the AAA that are getting thrown around in trade rumors for the Orioles. And the Yankees and Phillies, they're just going to be buyers on what they need. Yankees, I think, could go starting pitching and some bullpen help. Same with the Phillies. Obviously, you can never have enough bullpen help. We're just going to see how that pans out for them at this time this next week. But the Phillies do have some tougher games this week. 6 games against the AL Central, 3 in Minnesota, and 3 against the Guardians. The Guardians, like I said earlier, it's a big week for them. They have 7 games that are meaningful games, 4 against your division and 3 on the road against the best team in baseball. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be surprised if the Guardians have a very bad week here and falter, and maybe the Twins take the lead in that division, or the Royals are right there too. So don't expect the Guardians here to keep this one rolling. And I think that AL Central is starting to creep up and really be a division that's going to go down to the end of the year. But that's going to be it for my Week 16 power rankings. Check back next week to see if your team's already made some moves and to see where your team ranks. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.